Hi everybody, my name's Lindsey Castro and I'm a mom of four. My kids are 2, 3, 7, and 9, and I'm 36 years old from Long Beach, California, and I've been a member of Clovis since April. Been a member, have been following Clovis pretty closely. I'm gonna be really honest right now. I was following Clovis really strictly, on and off for a couple periods of time. When I joined Clovis, it was right before I left my husband of almost 10 years. I moved myself and my 4 kids out of our home into my grandmother's house, and I started Clovis strictly the week before I moved out. Honestly, if I hadn't have started Clovis at that time, I don't think I would have gotten through that move, because since I was past my detox period, I was feeling better health-wise, and I was able to do a lot more things, like moving super heavy furniture from a second-story apartment, packing and getting all that stuff done in a very quick period of time. After I moved out from our house, I was kind of limited to what we had grocery-wise, because it was at my grandma's house, and my grandma she's 83 years old, and she's very set in her ways, and she has her food, quote-unquote food, that she eats that is stocked in her house, and I fell off, to be honest, with all the stress and everything. However, I started again in May, towards the end of May, and in 2.5 weeks of being on the protocol, I lost 25 pounds, and that's huge. I had a lot of stress, like I said, going on with the new process of a divorce, dealing with being on my own with 4 children, all the ups and downs that go along with everything. And to be super duper honest, I was really hesitant to get on and videotape myself right now, because my journey is totally far from perfect, like the farthest from perfect in the whole entire world. And I unfortunately am a perfectionist. I'm an all or nothing person, and I've realized that after last night's AMA with Justin about stress. Stress really gets a hold of me quickly, and if things aren't going according to plan, I'm like, oh, screw it, I can't do this, and I just let things go, instead of it being perfect like I'd like it to be. So anyways, after that 2.5 week period of time, I was so happy that the number on the scale said 25 pounds. But I looked in the mirror and I did not see it. I have a ton of weight to lose. I started out this process at 285 pounds. That's the heaviest I've ever been in my entire life. Heavier than I was pregnant. And it was really a depressing time, with everything that was going on. But to say that I lost 25 pounds, I mean, that was amazing. And I felt so much better. It wasn't really even just about losing the weight. I lost all the aches and pains that I had in my body. I have suffered with, or I have been battling many health issues for the past almost 16 years. Right out of college, I was a competitive swimmer and water polo player, so I was very athletic, very muscular, very in shape, and again, lovely stress. Some stress started to affect my health, and I quickly declined in health, like super fast. And through my 20s, having my kids, everything kind of went up and down. My weight went up and down. My sickness went up and down. I felt like crap. I dealt with depression, lots of things. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of bouncing all around and I don't mean to do that. But the point is that I took this leap and started this process, this journey with Clovis. And through all of my years of being sick, I did a ton of research. I bounced from doctor to doctor, trying to find a doctor that knew what the hell they were talking about when it came to thyroid disease, autoimmune disease, because I have both Hashimoto's and Graves' disease. So I fluctuate back and forth and back and forth. I had, adrenal fatigue, so many different things. My labs were so out of whack. I might have been able to look happy on the outside, but inside I was really, really struggling just from day to day being a mom not, with everything. Just even taking care of myself. My kids were my number one priority, and I went downhill, But anyways, what I was trying to say is I took a leap of faith with this protocol, because listening to Justin's words, all the research that he's done, it was like it was like the angels started singing when I heard the first AMA that I listened to, because everything that I had researched and was not able to put into some sort of plan of action had finally been done. I had found all of it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. This is something I can do. This is something that I don't have to put all the steps together. I can just follow this. And I did that. I followed those steps, and I hit some obstacles. And like I said, I have that perfectionist mentality where it's all or nothing. Like, if it's not as I wanted it to be, I drop it and I move on, or I start over, and I get stuck very easily. I get trapped very easily. And I have gone through that several times in the past 3 months that I've been on this. But the difference is that with the AMAs, with the group, with hearing people's problems in the group, or even just encouragement from other people, questions being answered, being able to message Justin and getting a response within it doesn't even take a day. I mean, unless it's a weekend and he's super busy or something, but it really doesn't even take a day to get a response back. And you can have a full-on conversation. There's access to information all the time. And you're not left just to figure things out on your own, because somebody is there to help you and walk you through it. So yes, I have figured out so many things on my own about myself, especially after hearing last night's AMA with the stress. Hearing the mental trap that Justin talked about, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so me. I get stuck in these things. And the difference now compared to before is that I'm not stuck. I'm moving forward. I'm not continuously saying, okay, I'm starting from day one again. I'm just continuing to push through. And even after the 2.5 weeks, and I looked in the mirror and I was like, okay, I know the scale says it's 25 pounds, but I don't see much of a difference. Other people were telling me that I look different, but I guess I just had this idea in my head that, oh my gosh, I lost 25 pounds. There should be a huge difference. Granted, this is so stupid. Granted, my clothes didn't fit. I had to wear other clothes. I had to start going through boxes that I had of clothes that didn't fit me anymore, because they were fitting me because my other pants weren't staying on, or my shirts were too loose, or, whatever the case may be. I knew I was getting smaller, but because my body didn't automatically jump to the exact ideal body that I wanted, I got discouraged, and I stopped, and I let stress and a bunch of things get in the way. And so I stopped following the protocol. And it was about 3 or so weeks of going back to the sad diet, and I felt like shit. Sorry, pardon my mouth. But I really did feel like crap. Not even 2 days after eating foods that I knew affected my body, I woke up and I could barely move. My back hurt so bad. My feet hurt as soon as they touched the floor. The swelling or the inflammation I had in my stomach, all these things came back within days. And I was like, why did I do this? Why did I do this? And I just kept saying, I'll get back on it. I'll get back on it. And finally I did. I did get back on it. And even in those 3 weeks, I only maybe gained like 2 pounds back. So it wasn't that big of, to me, that wasn't that big of a deal. However, all the signs of inflammation took over my body again. Like just the swelling, the puffiness, everything. It came back full force. And within going back on the protocol, within like a day or two, so many of those things were gone again. And I'm like, my body knows that this is where I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing. This is correct. This is what I need to be healthy. And 4 days after starting the protocol, I was down another 10 pounds. I know I wasn't supposed to step on the scale. However, I had a doctor's appointment, so it wasn't my fault. They weighed me, and I weighed in at 257 pounds. I started at 285 pounds. And I know I have a huge road ahead of me, but I'm getting there. I'm doing it. I'm not exercising, which is like, at my weight and at my health state, I know that exercising does more harm than good to me. But for being a competitive athlete for so much of my life, that's really hard to make your brain and your body accept that you don't need to go swim 7 miles and then not be able to walk, not be able to function for 2 days because you just put your body through an immense amount of trauma because you're trying to lose weight. And so, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of adjustments in this, but they're adjustments that are good. They're helping me. And, I've struggled with some stuff with my kids, trying to get them on board with this. That's a work in progress. I can't do a kids AMA because our journey is barely begun with that. And I also have a hard time knowing every time they go over to their dad's house that, that it's just crap. They have so much crap. It's like if they went through a detox with me, they'd be going over there to eat crap and then coming home to detox all over again. They would never get out of that detox phase. And so I've had some issues with trying to navigate that. But this AMA I'm doing for myself, as uncomfortable as I am. I'm sitting in my mom's truck on the way home from vacation because that's the only alone space I could get. I had to go down to the car to be able to record this. But I'm sending in my pictures. Another thing, my measurements. I did measurements when I first started this, and then also I did measurements this morning when I took my pictures that I don't like, but I did it. And I have lost a total of 32.25 inches. That's freaking amazing. That in itself is just incredible. But yeah, so this is my video, and thank you, Justin, for Clovis, and thank you for I Am Clovis and Clovis Academy and Clovis Kids. You guys are amazing, and I'm so thankful to have all this information and the everything down to the perfect paleo powder. I mean, it's just, all of it works, and it's easy to follow. Dealing with your own self, dealing with your emotions, dealing with stress, dealing with finding out what needs to be undone and fixed within yourself. That's the tough part, but it's a work in progress, and I'm moving forward, and I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. Thank you so much for listening to this. Sorry it's a little long. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.